Manjit. Welcome to Special Topics in Business Education. Today I will going to discuss concepts and terminologies related to globalization. Please watch this video.
What is globalization? Globalization is a process of interaction and integration among the people, companies, and governments of different nations. A process driven by international trade and investment and aided by information technology. This process has effects on the environment, on culture, on political systems, on economic development and prosperity, and on human physical well-being in societies around the world. Globalization is not new, though for thousands of years, people and later corporations have been buying from and selling to each other in lands and in great distances, such as through the famed Silk Road across Central Asia that connected China and Europe during the Middle Ages. Likewise, for centuries, people and corporations have invested in enterprises in other countries. Academic literature commonly subdivides globalization in three major areas: economic globalization, cultural globalization, and political globalization. Economic globalization primarily comprises the globalization of production, finance, markets, technology, organizational regimes, institutions, corporations, and labor. Cultural globalization refers to the transmission of ideas, meanings, and values around the world in such a way as to extend and intensify social relations. This process is marked by the common consumption of cultures that have been diffused by the internet, popular culture media, and international travel. This has added to processes of commodity exchange and colonization which have a longer history of carrying cultural meaning around the globe. It brings increasing interconnectedness among different populations and cultures. Political globalization refers to the growth of the worldwide political system, both in size and complexity. That system includes national governments, their governmental and intergovernmental organizations, as well as government-independent elements of global civil society such as international, non-governmental organizations, and social movement organizations. The creation and existence of the United Nations has been called one of the classic examples of political globalization. Technology and the fall of trade barriers have led to the integration of markets and nations and enabled individuals, companies, and nation-states to reach around the world faster and cheaper than ever before. We see evidence of this interconnectedness in our lives every day, from the food we eat, to the coffee we drink, to the clothes we wear. Sports teams recruit talent from around the globe, and the iPhones we use to communicate are manufactured in more than 19 different countries.
Welcome back. After knowing what is globalization, let's now move on to our next topic, which is global education.
Global education emphasizes the unity and interdependence of human society, developing a sense of self and appreciation of cultural diversity, affirmation of social justice and human rights, as well as building peace and actions for a sustainable future in different times and places. The heart of global education is enabling young people to participate in shaping a better, shared future for the world. As the major formal agency for conveying knowledge, the school features prominently in the process and theory of globalization. Early examples of educational globalization include the spread of global religions, especially Islam and Christianity, and colonialism, which often disrupted and displaced indigenous forms of schooling throughout much of the 19th and 20th century. In globalization, it is not simply the ties of economic exchange and political agreements that bind nations and societies, but also the shared consciousness of being part of a global system. That consciousness is conveyed through ever larger transnational movements of people and an array of different media, but most systematically through formal education. The inexorable transformation of consciousness brought on by globalization alters the content and contours of education, as schools take on an increasingly important role in the process. Global education promotes positive values and assists students to take responsibility for their actions and to see themselves as global citizens who can contribute to a more peaceful, just, and sustainable world. Global education applies methodological approaches that are learner-centered, participatory, partnership-based. The educator is not a teacher who transmits knowledge or skills, but is a learner. As well, it addresses in the learning process reflection, emotions, and activity. Experience-based, activating, and empowering. Global education is based on values of tolerance, solidarity, fairness and justice, empathy, equality, responsibility, cooperation, nonviolence, inclusion, and diversity. The jobs that once supported a middle-class standard of living for workers with a high school diploma or less have substantially disappeared. These new economic realities and rapid shifts in the job market are fundamentally changing what we need from our education system. The rapid increase in emerging markets also means economic growth and the need to prepare students for jobs that require new skill sets. According to the Committee for Economic Development in 2006, to compete successfully in a global marketplace, both US-based multinationals as well as small businesses increasingly need employees with knowledge of foreign languages and cultures to market products to customers around the globe, and to work effectively with foreign employees and partners in other countries.
Hello everyone, I'm Maria Sara Magallanes and I will discuss about global marketing. Global marketing is marketing on a worldwide scale, reconciling or taking commercial advantage of global operational differences, similarities, and opportunities in order to meet global objectives. Global marketing is more than simply selling a product internationally. Rather, it includes the whole process of planning, producing, placing, and promoting a company's products in a worldwide market. Large businesses often have offices in the foreign countries they market to, but with the expansion of the internet, even small companies can reach customers throughout the world. There is a lot of confusion between the commonly used term global marketing and international marketing. International marketing and global marketing are perceived the same by several marketers worldwide. However, they are definitely not the same. International marketing involves the marketing tactics adopted by knowledgeable marketers in different countries specific to the markets of those countries. Global marketing, on the other hand, is a marketing concept which involves the marketing efforts put in for the unique worldwide market. There are 5 stages in the evolution of global marketing, namely domestic marketing, export marketing, international marketing, multinational marketing, and global marketing. As mentioned above, a company who wants to be globalized has to go several steps. Domestic marketing is the first stage of the evolution of a company to become global. In this stage, the marketing scope of the company is only within the country boundaries. Export marketing is the second stage. Export marketing is an approach in which sell directly to overseas customers. The third stage of the evolution is international marketing. The difference on this stage is the company is getting more polycentric orientation. Not like the export marketing where the focus is still on the local market. In this international marketing stage, the basic factor that been used to customize the product is those customers from other countries. Multinational marketing is the fourth stage of the evolution. In this stage, the focus of the company is more on the regional basis. It means they will customize the products based on the region-wide customers' preferences. The global marketing is the last stage of the evolution. There are only few companies that can actually achieve and evolve until this stage. It is a marketing approach in which companies are actually standardizing all their marketing mix across the national, regional, and global markets. To adopt the strategy of global marketing, a company must use the 4 P's of marketing that are product, price, place, and promotion. Luxury products, high-tech products, and new innovations are the most common products in the global marketplace. Price will always vary from market to market. How the product is distributed is also a country-by-country decision influenced by how the competition is being offered to the target market. Promotion. After product research, development, and creation, promotion is generally the largest line item in a global company's marketing budget. There are endless reasons why global marketing is important today. Thinking quickly, can you imagine a world without companies marketing their products and services internationally? Why other companies and organizations choose to market their products and services globally? What are the advantages and disadvantages of global marketing? One of the advantages of global marketing is in increased sales, higher profits, fresh knowledge, and skill development. On the other hand, the differences in customer liking, such as needs and desires impacted by their own regions, are one of the disadvantages of global marketing. That's why some companies and businesses doesn't bring and take their product and services globally. So that's all about global marketing. Thank you for watching. Hello everyone, I'm Maria Sara Magallanes and I'm going to discuss about economic bloc. Economic bloc is known as trade bloc. It is a set of countries which engage in international trade together and are usually related through a free trade agreement or other association. It is a group of countries that agree to reduce trade barriers between themselves. Many trade blocs exist around the world today in order to increase regional trade and create economic growth. Economic bloc or trade bloc starts with reduction of barriers to trade between the member states, but the deeper objective of many such blocs is to integrate their economies. Economic integration is used to describe how different aspects between economies are integrated. As economic integration increases, the barriers of trade between markets diminishes. The aim of economic integration is to reduce costs for both consumers and producers and to increase trade between the countries taking part in the arrangement. There are several stages in the process of economic integration. The first stage of economic integration is the preferential trade area or preferential trade agreement. It is done by reducing tariffs but not abolishing them completely. The second stage is the free trade area, which members remove tariffs and other barriers to international trade among themselves. However, each member may establish its own trade policies with non-member countries. Customs union is the third stage of economic integration. It is a free trade area, plus members also adopt common trade policies toward non-member countries. The fourth stage of economic integration is the common market. Like customs union, it eliminates internal barriers, adopt common external barriers, and allow free movement of resources among member countries. Economic union is the fifth stage of economic integration. It is a common market, plus members more fully integrate their economies by coordinating their economic policies. The last stage of economic integration is the political union or the complete economic integration. By encompassing both political and economic integration, the union effectively transforms itself into one country. The most significant and major trade blocs currently are European Union, North American Free Trade Agreement, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, and Mercado Común del Sur, also known as Southern Common Markets. There are 5 major advantages of trade bloc arrangements: the foreign direct investment, economies of scale, competition, trade effects, and market efficiency. The disadvantages, on the other hand, include regionalism versus multinationalism, loss of sovereignty, concessions, and interdependence. Country joins a trade bloc in order to reach its economic, political, and other purposes with the power of the bloc. The agreement of trade bloc eliminates tariffs, quotas, and other barriers on intra-community trade which is necessary for expanding a project. This trading bloc devises a common internal tariff on imports from the rest of the world and permits the free flow of factors of production within the community. It helps in harmonizing taxation and monetary policies and social security policies between member and non-member countries. It presents a common policy on agriculture, transport, and competition in the industry. So that's all about economic bloc or trade bloc. Thank you for watching.
Ever wonder how businesses works with the government? Well, we have this what we call central planning economy, wherein decisions on what to produce, how to produce, and for whom are taken by the government, like North Korea. But if we limit or remove government involvement and there is just a mutual agreement between businesses and consumers, this economic system is what we call market economy. Prices are fixed by the law of supply and demand here, rather than by a government or other body. In this economic system, economic decisions in the pricing of goods and services are guided solely by the aggregate interactions of a country's individual citizens and businesses. In market economy, people exchange resources, such as money, for other resources like goods and services on a voluntary basis in the market. Since there is a limit or no involvement of government in business activities, prices can be lowered or higher, and many people are also encouraged to work and production is made easy. Innovation of many products and services are also encouraged. That is why efficiency, productivity, and innovation is enhanced here. Although there might be some problems with the business's finance. Because of this, workers are paid less. And with the overproduction, unemployment, and new products, there might be crisis in the economy. That's why pure market economy does not exist. And many countries are involved in what we call a mixed economic system. This features characteristics of both capitalism and socialism. It protects private property and allows a level of economic freedom in the use of capital, but also allows for governments to interfere in economic activities in order to achieve social aims. As an educator, I think market economy can help the education of a country since a lot of businesses can put up different schools in different areas. They can adjust the tuition fees and other curriculum according to people's needs and capabilities. But still, there might be some risk here. If tuition fees are higher, people might not afford to attend to that school. Or if the tuition fees are lowered, the school itself might have some difficulties in running the businesses. Well, in terms of public education, that's another issue. If you have other thoughts about this, feel free to share it to us. Thanks for watching.
Hello everybody, Daryl here, and for today, we will be talking about liberalization versus protectionism. Before we start, let us define the terms liberalization and protectionism. Liberalization. In social policy, liberalization may refer to a relaxation of laws restricting, for example, divorce, abortion, or psychoactive drugs. Protectionism. It refers to government actions and policies that restrict or restrain international trade, often done with the intent of protecting local businesses and jobs from foreign competition. Furthermore, let us discuss first liberalization. Of course, it has its fair share of pros and cons. Those against liberalization claim it can cost jobs and even lives, as cheaper goods flood the market, which at times may not undergo the same quality and safety checks required domestically. Proponents, however, say that liberalization ultimately lowers consumer costs, increases efficiency, and fosters economic growth. Here are some pros of liberalization. It promotes a free trade marketplace. This allows goods to cross international lines without any regulatory barriers or their associated costs. We also have our cons for liberalization. It can negatively affect certain businesses within a nation. This can include increased competition from foreign producers, as well as lower local support for certain industries. There may also be higher risks to certain environments if items or raw materials are gathered from countries with lower environmental standards. It is often seen that countries with more advanced education adapt to a free trade economy more effectively than others. This stems from the ability of the labor market to adjust to changing demands and the ability of production facilities to shift their focus to more in-demand goods. Countries with lower educational standards or averages may struggle in adapting to the changing economic environment. Then, we have protectionism. Protectionists believe that there is a legitimate need for government restrictions on free trade in order to protect their country's economic and therefore political independence. People whose arguments are for protectionism are called protectionists. Protectionists believe in protection leads to long-term growth. It is also argued that protection calibrated in advanced industries or those subject to increasing returns benefits long-term economic growth because it maximizes the likelihood of black swan events. And lastly, economic independence is necessary for political independence. Political independence is predicated upon economic independence, for the simple fact that if a country depends upon another for critical imports, then it must necessarily consider its trading partner's interest, even to its own detriment. And of course, we have our arguments against protectionism. Protectionism is frequently criticized by economists as harming the people as it is meant to help. Mainstream economists instead support free trade. Protectionism has also been accused of being one of the major causes of war. Proponents of this theory point to the constant warfare in the 17th and 18th centuries among European countries whose governments were predominantly mercantilist and protectionist. To sum up, we have learned that liberalization is a free-moving economic policy compared to protectionism. Before I end this video, try to reflect and make a stand if you are in for liberalization or protectionism. That's all, folks, and don't forget to reflect and make a stand. This has been Daryl, and see you on the next informational video.
Hello, my name is Edward, and I am going to present a very interesting topic. So, are you ready? For this video, I am going to present globalization versus localized economic democracy and subsidiarity. Let us first tackle globalization. Globalization is the process of interaction and integration among the people, companies, and governments of different nations, a process driven by international trade and investment and aided by information technology. For example,
exchanges between people of countries far apart are now fast and simple, thanks to the development of new ways of communication, both virtual and real. We go to the movies to watch an American film released worldwide simultaneously. We invite our friends by sending an SMS from a Korean mobile. And we use a Japanese scooter to go to the appointment. Globalization depends both on economic factors and on social aspects, such as the relationship with other cultures and the dissemination of information. Globalization has changed the way we work. Today, people and countries cooperate to produce and distribute the same goods or services.
Toyota cars are made by a Japanese corporation, but the chassis of the car are made in England, the engines in Wales, the tires in Japan, the wiring in China, the seatbelts in the Czech Republic, and the headlights in France. Like many goods that we're familiar with, these cars are manufactured in a number of different places in the world. This is an expression of globalization.
and now about localized economic democracy and subsidiarity. Let us first talk about economic democracy. Economic democracy is a socio-economic philosophy that proposes to shift decision-making power from corporate managers and corporate shareholders to a larger group of public stakeholders that includes workers, customers, suppliers, neighbors, and the broader public. Subsidiarity. It is an organizing principle that matters ought to be handled by the smallest, lowest, or least centralized competent authority. Political decisions should be taken at a local level if possible, rather than by a central authority.
The idea is that the responsibility for addressing social and economic problems belongs to the closest community or authority that can handle those problems. So individuals are responsible for things like doing their jobs, making purchases. Families are in charge of deciding where they want to live. Larger authorities like churches, community organizations, and local governments should do those things that individuals can't do alone, like protecting the homeless, feeding the needy, or fighting fires. Finally, state and federal governments should handle those big things that other organizations can't. Things like building bridges and fighting terrorism.
So, do you prefer a localized economic democracy and subsidiarity? Or do you prefer taking things globally? I'd love to know your thoughts. Thank you for watching.